Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the hottest marriage show in town. This is Too Much, and I am sitting next to the better half. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, thank you.
You're more than welcome. I just want you guys to know, this dog, she's gotten this dog to speak. Of course, this was Snacks, but
Yes.
but it's starting. Like, it's crazy the amount of effort that you could put into anything.
I want him to learn how to speak but quietly. Like instead of doing a full bark, be like,
I know that's. I guess you're gonna have to create some type of sound for him to know it.
yeah, I'll work on it.
Yeah, but I just want y'all to know, like, I was thinking about all of the distractions in life that, we were given, like before we even knew what distractions were. And I'm thinking about now with our kids and this dog, the amount of time that you can put into them, that you can see things literally like develop right in front of you. And even my wife, there was a time where I used to believe that I needed to be away from the house so that I didn't get burnt out at home, because my father told me he went to work to get a break from the household. So in my mind, I said that was not going to ever happen. And I told my wife, we need me time. Like, so I started smoking cigars and going to smoke a cigar before I came home. And then when I went to the UAE, I was smoking hookah before I came home. And I was really just like kind of thinking, I really was trying to protect myself from not wanting to be with my family all the time.
That's crazy.
It was. And it's still crazy because I think about all of the time that I've wasted on being afraid of something that wasn't going to ever happen.
Well, I think of that as, I remember when my mom used to come home from work every day. And women, when you work all day and you come home, the level of responsibility is typically different than when a husband walks through the door or the father walks through the door. And so, when my mom used to come in, she would drive home from work. It would be like a 30-minute drive. She would come directly into the house and go directly into the bathroom. And she said she used to go in the bathroom, and I was like a motor mouth kid. So I would stand outside the bathroom door and I would talk to her, put my hand up under the door as if that was supposed to mean something, wiggle my fingers. And all she really wanted was a quiet space. In the bathroom, really, all women that I know of have tried to find a space in their house where it's off limits and the kids will leave them alone. There is no space, in case anybody wants to know. And so I realized that there's no space in the home. And what I used to do is I would drive home and I would park in the way our house initially was set up in Atlanta. The garage was the lowest level, and it was behind it was a townhouse. And so nobody knew I was there. I would drive home, and the drive home was it could be up to an hour and a half for me because of Atlanta traffic. But even though I would ride home and you feel like that should be enough, it wasn't. I needed time to sit and not have to think. And so I would park in the driveway, but I would not open the garage door. You open the garage door, everybody comes to the door looking for you. And so I would park outside and I would wait there for like 45 minutes and I would just relax. I'd listen to the radio, or sometimes it would just be quiet, or I might scroll through my phone. Anything that will allow me to just have that downtime for my brain, because I knew as soon as I walked in the door, it was about to be off the hook again. So I understood you having a time in between work and home. I especially understood it when I homeschooled the kids, that the first 2 years. in Abu Dhabi because there was no in between time. Like there was no commuting. I was at work and then I was
At work.
immediately
And then you was at work.
home, and then I was at work. Regardless, there was no stop. So I didn't necessarily think your time away was to make it where you were trying to help yourself to not want to be where. I don't know what that was about, but I do understand needing to be able to shut off your work brain,
But
acknowledge John, and then come home and have to be husband and father, just like I would do.
So what you're saying, like, I get it. That's the reason why I thought everybody understood the break so that they didn't want to not be at home. So I felt like my dad was on to something.
He was, but what's crazy is that he felt like his off time was actually at work taking care of people.
No.
Like his dad did like the real work, like taking care of people. Was he in like nursing homes and
nurse
assistant care?
Yeah.
And so if anybody knows anything about being a nurse assistant, it is some of the most tiring ass work ever. Like lifting, pulling, getting things for people. Sometimes you're listening to them talk. Sometimes you're dealing with families. It's like the ultimate haze. And me being a nurse, I felt every bit of that. And I understand that our CNAs had more patients than we did. They had more people to go see, more to manage. And so shout out to all certified nursing assistants right now, and nurses, but certified nursing assistants, like let a nurse go up on a floor and find out that there are no CNAs. You will see a riot. We be mad than a mug. So I just want to say thank you all. But that man felt like going there and wrestling and tussling with them people
was easier than dealing with two kids.
Look,
two kids that could cook for themselves.
2 kids. That's crazy.
Put on their clothes.
That is crazy. Yeah. But yeah, if your dad were here today, I would definitely elevate him to the idea of a break in between work and home. Yeah. Then he would have really been able to like enjoy himself.
But I think like, so the reason what I get is what I heard from when you was talking about your mother. Like he was bombarded like abruptly with all of the stuff that your mother had been groomed or been participating in, and my father was like all of this just like pow. Yeah. So what's so crazy is that I don't think it was as bad. I think my father had some of the responsibilities that women have that he didn't know he was supposed to have, because I don't think my mother knew she was supposed to have those responsibilities
either.
Yeah.
Your mom was the younger sister, right?
Yeah, she's the youngest.
So yeah, even in that, like, I don't know, it's just something about, I was the only girl, but I feel like the younger sister, they don't have that full focus like the older sister would either in taking care of a bunch of.
Her parents died when she was young. Yeah. So my mother didn't necessarily know. Yeah,
so she had that stacked against her, and then your dad came through and so my mom, like when I think about, it made me feel like church. When I think about the Lord's goodness, when I think about how my mom would come home, and I know what my mouth was like. That woman had no rest. Bless her. Bless her. Because, you definitely need that in between time. So I wasn't mad about you and cigars. I wasn't mad about you and hookah. I felt like I understood completely. Like you just need that moment. Unfortunately, not everybody can afford to have that. I mean, we had to do some moving around the schedules to make sure that kids were picked up and all that other stuff. But yeah, that time away is necessary.
Well, I don't necessarily. I think I need it, but I don't think I need it every day at all. Like before, like I said, I was in the mindset that it was necessary in order for my family to function, and now I realize that that I didn't have all the information, to create some of the ideas in my head. Because I don't know how much you've recognized, but by me being home, I've recognized the growth in everybody, and even specifically the relationships with me versus before, because you were ultimately the caregiver, the nurturer, and even though I thought I was doing stuff by trying to say that I was doing 50%. I really did think that, Remember I told you, like, I was like, if you ever leave me, I don't want you to say that you were doing all the work, and it's so crazy that you were still like doing all the work.
Hey, it's a funny exercise, y'all. So while we were apart, we were preparing for him to come back here, and I said, I want you to list off all of the things you feel are necessary for a household to run. And I'm going to list off all the things I feel are necessary for a household to run. And then we're going to compare them. So, y'all, he sent me like a list of 12 things. One of them was like, make sure that there's laughter. Like, and I came through with making sure that there are toiletries. Making sure that they're like.
Well, see, I didn't think about that. But like, I want you to know, like, I didn't like if we needed toilet paper, I would bring toilet paper. Wait. But I will say this though, you did show me that there was a different level of actually covering the entire house.
Yeah.
Like your scan is different from my scan.
Yeah, he was like, pay the bills, make sure this, make sure that, the big ticket items, but the things that make a household run
on a day-to-day.
It's like the list I sent him was astronomical, but it wasn't even complete. And he was like, oh, so because you put a little more detail, some of those tasks were in this task.
And I did feel like that when I saw that too, because I was like, but in order for me to really understand, I had to want to become this person though, because I'll even say, even at the beginning, there are certain parts that I was like, did she really do this? I just didn't understand.
For real. And then, and even in that list, I was like, if the kids have a project for school, going to get the supplies for the project, making sure that the project is done, those types of things he didn't do. And so when you sit there and say, we 50-50, we partnering in this.
But see, what I was saying 50-50 was like, I was giving kids baths, I was cooking, I was washing clothes, I was washing dishes, I would clean the bathroom. I was like, that's the type of stuff in my head, the 50-50. I didn't consider like just the things that I didn't know to think about though.
Right. And so then that so that is if y'all ever want to try that. Just list off what do you think is necessary, and watch how the list for the person who does less of the household things, look at the difference in what you think is important versus what your partner is like, oh yeah, and this and this and this, because then it puts into perspective like, dang, I could be helping more.
Yeah. I was thinking how, even then I was in my head, I was doing so much. And I remember asking you like, what, let me know so that I could do more things. Mm-hmm. And I remember the thing, I thought you were going to mention this earlier, but I want everybody to know that I've always tried to become better. And I'm going to give you an example of, this is the very beginning. I don't even think we were married. And she said, there's a study that says that women always sleep closer to the door because little kids will go to the closest parent. Mm-hmm. And what did I do? And I said, I want
switch
it.
Sides.
Yep. I said, I want the responsibility of that, because in my head, I didn't want her to think that I didn't want these misogynistic views to play a role in the way women are treated in my household.
So did you find that was true?
No. Well, I don't know. I don't know, because I was looking forward to it. So it never like bothered me.
Yeah. After that, no matter where we were, he was always on the side closest to the door. But it did, because when Day was having those nightmares, you remember you would go and he would never let the kids sleep with us. But he would go and take her back in her room, and he would lay on the floor until she went back to sleep. And I don't think Dallas ever really had that.
No, he didn't do it as much as Dave. He did it, but he wasn't a problem.
But I didn't have to wake up for it. It definitely, yeah.
But I didn't like I said, again, in my head, I was trying to create a relationship that, it was some selfish shit though. I was trying to create a relationship that you couldn't have. I know it's so crazy because I look, check this out.
Why is he competing?
Because I want to be the best. And it's so crazy. That list that you were talking about, I was really trying to be creative.
Yeah.
I was. And this is what I got from it, just listening to it. Like, I literally was doing the things that I thought I was supposed to be doing. I had no idea about the other job responsibilities that she was thinking about or was already thinking about. Like, there was so many things that I'm like, wow, I guess you do have to think about that. And I'm like, if neither one of us thought like that, this house would be a chaos.
Yeah, it would.
But you know what? I do challenge. I would like to believe that we have an equal amount of people that listen to this as far as male and female. So I definitely recommend you guys to do that in your household. Just kind of see what you aren't really doing, or go see how much work you're really doing. And then that's when you kind of like communicate and say, hey, this is the reason why I feel this way, because I didn't realize that these norms is really tiring, and your norms as a man is a lot easier than my norms.
Yeah. Look, but I was talking to some married friends before, and they were talking about how they were, complaining to their husband, and their husband is like, oh, I can do this, I can help you with this or whatever. And so one of the wives was like, if it's so easy, why don't you trade places with me? He was like, oh no, that's all right. It's because in your spirit, in your spirit, no, y'all don't want our responsibilities.
Well, so now well, me, I wanted it, and the thing is that you didn't know how to teach me.
Oh, that's the other thing, is I do have a problem with delegating, because I feel like
you want it done a specific way.
Yeah, and you don't care, and you be like, look, I want to do it how you want, but you be doing too much sometimes, so I'm gonna do it like this. And that's where I needed to grow, because do I want help, or do I want everything to look the way I want it to look? And I had to make that decision. Like, so what if he don't make the bed the way that I would make the bed? Did he make the bed? Thank God.
Oh, my bed's not good.
No, that's an example. I'm fine with how you make the bed.
Like, look, check this out. I don't have a problem with doing it the way you want. You have to tell me what you're looking for, so that I can make sure that those are covered.
And to be able to take the moment to, and you even say this about, why don't you just teach the kids to do whatever? It's the time it takes to teach someone to do what you want, when you could just do it yourself and move on. It's saying to yourself, I'm going to take the time now to be very thorough in teaching them, so that this is something that I can hand off to somebody and not worry about. But I be sitting there like, look, it's going to take too much time for me to get across what I need to have done. I'm just going to do it myself. So, I would shoot myself in the foot most of the time.
The reason why I'm a high advocate on teaching the kids, whatever, because, when I used to look at social media on a regular, you would see like people our age with kids our age, and they cooking for them, and like, look at this is what the kids did, and I was like, I wonder how much did they do. But I'm like, if you see the parents, they still in the bed, and I'm like, well, they didn't get out of the bed to go help them clean it and then get back. So I'm like, so my goal, what I see is, I don't have phases in this, because I see my kids actually cooking for us before we wake up. They was like, well, our parents wake up early, let's do this. But I'm like, how do they get there? They can't get there unless we start practicing and they get familiar with the kitchen. Yeah. So even though I will say this, it pains me sometimes to know that if a meal is going to require my assistance, and if Kanika is not in a happy mood, she's not going to just go get in the kitchen. So then I'm like, I'm going to have to go in here. But what I do enjoy after, regardless if the product is good or bad, the kid, whoever it is, feels really good about what they did. And I feel like they're going to become very comfortable at some point, because I definitely know adults. I know adults that don't even have a real oven.
That's not fair.
No, I'm just saying. I know, like, no, I'm saying, like, there are adults that just, rather order out or eat something that doesn't require an oven. When I say an oven, I'm talking about a stove too.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I want my kids to be able to navigate a lot easier.
I agree.
And the most difficult part of a bad diet, and this is what I've recognized, when you have a bad diet, it's easier to cook. So if you can try to teach the kids some better, healthier meals when they get older, it won't be like they're changing their lifestyle. They already know how to cook healthy meals, because most of the time we can't change our lifestyle because we have to reteach ourselves to cook something different. And a lot of times when we cook or buy something, it's really easy to think. We don't have to think that much, but that's going to require us to think. And that's why we don't think, because we just go to the easy thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It does feel like it's a lot, to cook healthy meals, but you know what? The kids are enjoying it. They enjoy all the little different. Oh, I need this season. They made sandwiches from scratch last night, and look, I was like, "What?" But here I go. She said, "I'm making sandwiches," and she comes in. She was like, "I don't know. Am I supposed to use the garlic salt or am I supposed to use garlic?" Like I'm trying. I said, "Where is the can?"
She's like, yeah. She was looking. Look. Kanika really was like, where's the package to just like mix it all together? They had the only thing we didn't have was Worcestershire sauce. And it said only a teaspoon of it, but it really tastes good.
It did taste good. But it's so funny because I was looking like, look, this is not hard. You brown the meat and then you put the can in there. She was talking to me about garlic sauce, girl. Yes. But yeah, when I figured out, I said, oh my God. Yeah, but they're enjoying it, and
the sandwiches was an Impossible Burger too. So they're really trying to do the right thing, as far as, when I say the right thing, a healthier choice. Please forgive me.
Yeah, an Impossible Burger, yes, processed, but at the same time, it's easier for our body to get it in and out. But the point is that I would have definitely put a can in her hand, but she and her dad toughed it out in the kitchen and made it basically from scratch. So it was really good. And I guess if you always know it that way, it's nothing to do it.
Yeah, like if you know how to make things the most difficult way, everything else is going to be easier.
These kids be in Pinterest for real.
They do. And I enjoy it. I don't like maybe 30 minutes to an hour before it has to happen, because I'm trying to figure out if I'm the one that's going in the kitchen.
He usually is.
But I am looking forward to like another year or two, and then it's going to be like, well, I don't even think it's going to take that long, because even Dallas on some dessert, well, all of them, they don't even need as much assistance.
Dallas don't need help
on certain things. So I think eventually it's going to get to the point where they're going to be good at it. So I'm excited about them turning into these little people that it's going to make it very easy for us as we get older.
Oh yeah, I do project that soon it won't even be us being the sous chef. It'll be one of them helping the other ones. So look, we trying to hand off as many of these tasks as possible. Look, I feel like Louis Anderson and Coming to America be like, right now I'm washing lettuce.
Next week I'll be on fries.
Hey, and then the grill. We're about to send them into cleaning bathrooms.
Oh yeah, so they're doing pretty good at cleaning the tub after themselves.
Yeah, and just getting them to be more mindful of cleaning as you go throughout the week, and not having like a big old, like I be looking at that sink sometimes like, how are y'all brushing y'all teeth in that sink? You need to clean it. And so going in there and telling them, okay, you need to rinse this off. When you finish doing this, do this. It's those types of things that when they walk out the door, whether they're the girl or the boy, I want them to be able to manage their household and not live in filth.
Yeah.
Filth, so they can eat and they can clean and they're good to go.
I want them to be the perfect roommate.
Oh my God, yeah.
You know, like somebody who cleans up. Like, I'd rather for them to complain about somebody not being as clean, but I don't want them to be the OCD kind of people either. I don't think they will ever be the OCD people, but I do want them to be the perfect roommate to whoever. It's like, you know what? They always paid their rent. They cooked and they cleaned after themselves.
Yeah.
And they stayed in their room most of the time.
Right, because that's what they do. They don't be trying to bother nobody, you know. So I am curious though, as to anybody who is listening, like, what type of tasks do you have your kids doing now? Ours are like 13 or 14 now.
Yes.
So what do y'all have them doing?
Well, you know, before in the UAE, you got them to wash their own clothes. And
oh yeah.
So that was pretty cool. Because I didn't start washing clothes I think the first time I washed clothes was like a junior or sophomore. No, I might have been 8th grade because remember you used to get black pants, and if you wash them, they would fade. So
yeah,
I used to dye them back black.
Oh,
yeah, because I couldn't buy another pair.
Oh, I used to like wash them inside out and then line dry them.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, line dry them. I had a laundromat.
Oh.
I had a laundromat. So, you know, I will say this. Those people had to be mad because, you know, the dye.
Oh, my God. Really?
You know, I had to have black pants. Oh, my God. Look, black pants were so, like, you would wash them and then they'll have those creases with be like white.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, this is horrible. So, like I said, I just dyed them. And they would get all on my socks and like when I wore them.
On your shoes.
Yes. Look, the things that poor people did to like just look like that they weren't poor.
Maintain their clothing. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know.
Hey, what were we talking about? Chess King. Here we had Chess King where you would buy the clothes and it would have the collared shirts and the pants. And it'd be like the collared shirts would be like $15 or something.
What was it called?
Ours was called Chess King. But then when you washed them, the mugs would shrink up. They would get all misaligned with the seam, and they'd be ashy in the mug after the first wash.
I cannot. What is the store I told you? JJ something.
JJ's or something. We had a JR something and
JR Riggins. JR Riggins.
No.
So the reason why I can say this is because I know they've gone out of business. Look, I'm gonna tell you. So I had a very good friend of mine, Jaron Ferris. I just want y'all to know that Jaron Keith Ferris, he was the richest person I had ever known at that time, and he used to always dress fresh. And of course, you know, he was definitely way more polished than I was. But he ended up getting a job at a clothing store, J.R. Riggins, and you know, like Kanika was just telling y'all, like the stuff was cheap, and you know, I was washing out of the laundromat. So, you know, you wash it one time, it would fade, and his clothes never faded. And, you know, I always thought, like, you know, when I get rich, I'm going to get my own washer and dryer because maybe it wouldn't do it. Because, you know, I used to ask him, what are you doing? He's like, I turn it inside out and then hang dry it. And I was like, man, I did all of that. That never worked. And the way that I looked at it, I just figured that since he worked there, he just had unlimited amount of clothes.
He was just buying that $10 shirt every week.
Yeah, he stayed clean. Like, I just never understood how his clothes always looked new. And after one wash, it was over.
Oh yeah, Chess King.
Like you know how like you would buy like 3 or 4 outfits, it would come up to like $80.
Yeah,
and then
with the pants,
and then like if you wanted to stretch them out, you would use the pants for another shirt. Mm-hmm. But everybody knew it was the pants you wore because they were faded. When you watched it, was like, man, them the same pants.
Yeah, I miss those clothes.
Oh, I don't.
I don't miss, but they were super cheap though.
You know,
it's like, oh.
Well, I don't. I really like my attire now.
Yeah, his attire consists of hoodies and sweatpants.
Yeah, you know, and well, no, when we go out, I know how to
Oh
dress.
yeah, you know how to dress when you go out.
But I'm saying like overall, it's very comfortable. I don't have to worry about people. I don't really care anyway. Like what do you got on? Like, I'm just one of those people that can just disappear. Like, okay, you know, I don't have nothing. And somebody says, "Ooh, look, what kind of shoes he got on?" Or that's a clean outfit. And it's just like I'm an extra in their movie.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they will not see me at all. And that's what I want. And this is also what I told her. I said, once we actually become well known as far as our faces, we wear masks in public, so we're gonna be good. So you know, people say that you know they don't like they don't like that part of it because they can't get away. But we've been practicing masks fairly like every day, like when we go out in public. Of course, when we sit at the table, but I enjoy the mask because we don't look like weirdos. You know, before we would look like a weirdo.
Yeah, I love the mask too. And I hope that people don't even know who I am. Not because I'm worried about what I look like, but because I don't like to talk in public.
Look, check this out.
I really am a nice person, y'all.
She is. No. She can portray a nice person, but overall, she doesn't. She does like you don't want to be nice to people.
I do want to be nice, but I don't want to like look. I'm processed. I like to have the least amount of interaction with people possible because I like to be relaxed. And when I have to process things and talk to people and stuff, it's so it means I have to think. And I don't want to. I want to just enjoy, like if I'm walking through a store and I'm listening to, this is the one thing that gets me. When you're walking through a store and you're listening to music and you're just, you know, you're just doing your thing. You're enjoying your music and somebody stops to talk to you and then they want to like ask questions and stuff. You taking me out of my me zone. I don't like it.
Oh my God. And look, check this out. She is totally different from me because I literally go hoping for a conversation.
Oh, it's so crazy.
I do. Like, I hope, like, I'm shyer than what most people that know me would like to believe. Like, I can't really just go start a conversation, but I can definitely participate in one. Mm-hmm. So if somebody says, "Hey, how are you doing?" I can say, "Hey, how are you doing?" And I'm still shook. But if they ask a few more, like say a few more words and make me feel comfortable, I can get into a conversation. But before that, I mean, they definitely need to break it. But Kanika hates all of that.
I don't hate it. It's just, I have to be in the mood for it. Like
hate is extreme. Maybe this. Yeah.
When I go somewhere, like I like to go to the river and sit, and I will sip on my drink, and I'll watch people like MSU. They practice crew.
Yes.
Is that what it is? I'll watch them go by. I'll look at the trees across the way. Like that is good to me. If I were to, this is the problem. Like where I go, I see a lot of people walking. And if I sit on one of the benches, I'm more likely to have to, like, especially if I took Kingston with me, which is what I used to do, then I have to talk to people about my dog. Or they might stop and say something. It's a lot of interaction and I don't want any. And so it's really, really hard. But then there are other times where I go places and people will talk to me and it's not a problem. I'm not in that headspace. So I'll be like, oh yeah, da, 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 da. I can have a conversation like if we were sitting at a BW3s or something and somebody mentioned something or they say something, a bartender or somebody sit next to it, that's cool. But you know what? And please don't judge me, y'all, because I know I'm not the only person in the world. I like to exchange maybe up to a seven exchanges. Like, oh, da 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 da, yeah, da 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 da, da 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 da, yeah, da da da, and then I want it done.
Small talk champ.
I want it done, and then I can get back to my life. But
I'm gonna tell you this. So listening to you, right?
It's crazy.
I would rather have a solid conversation because
I know.
Because I feel like my time's not going to be wasted. Like if I talk to somebody within those 7 exchanges, I can determine, what kind of conversation we're going to have.
See, I'm hoping the conversation ends.
I know
at
that's
the
what I'm saying,
7th.
but I already feel like if you've already got me that long, I'm invested because you've already wasted too much of my time. So I have to make it count.
It better. Okay. So I want to just, yeah. I don't know. I like to interact with people, but I don't want it to be I don't want it to take up my entire
5 minutes.
Well, yeah, when I go places, I really go to just enjoy myself because I really like myself. And I like to,
And you should.
yeah, I think of certain things, or I like music, or I like, I like atmospheres and things. And I love to meet people. I do. I love to meet people and learn about them. But then I want there to be a nice, clean stop somewhere. And you can't do that because not everybody is like that.
Yeah.
So, I am flexible. I continue conversations. If I feel like someone is really, really interested in talking, I'll keep talking, and it'll be meaningful responses. It won't be like an asshole and I'm trying to like, oh yeah, well, make it real dry so that they stop. But if they give me a moment to stop the conversation, I'm taking it. Now, that's not the truth with my family. Every Sunday we have a phone call. My brothers are out of state and my mom and I are in the same state. And so we all get on a call on Sunday afternoon. And it's hard for me to not, like, I'd just be talking. Mom be like, Nika ain't gonna let nobody get no words in edgewise. My brothers have really learned how to push me out of a conversation. But with people outside of them, yeah, I be trying to stop the show. Please.
Well, I do like that about you guys too. Like, you guys make it a point to just catch up, and I think that's pretty dope. I don't have that. I don't even know how to have that. Like, honestly, I don't really like talking to people on the telephone or in a group setting like that. I like to do the face to face, but on like the way that y'all do, I just feel like I want to talk too much and I'm going to take away. So it's like, I'm probably not really good at this.
Yo, it's so hard for me to be quiet. And I'd be like, I try not to even start talking in the family call because I'll take over.
I think your family actually talk to people throughout the week. So you're talking to them. It's like catching up.
Maybe.
No, I'm serious. That's got to be it. But, I will say, though, I enjoy. Oh, yeah, I want to say this. I do enjoy talking, but I was talking to my wife about just the seriousness of my conversations. And, before she used to say she was just so tired and exhausted from like the content or whatnot because it was always like so much thinking involved. And then I was thinking the reason why, like I told her that when I have conversations with people make me feel like, thank you for having this conversation with me. But, my wife, she never believes the type of conversations I have with other people because it's so regular to her. So when we have these great conversations, like I know what a great conversation is. So when I hear, when she and I have it, she takes it for granted. And being that she don't talk to other people for real, she don't realize that other people don't really they don't be talking about, they just talk small talk. Like, and honestly, it takes a lot to ask somebody how they're doing. And do you really want to know? Like, that's the fakest small talk. That's being fake for real. When you ask somebody how they're doing, like, do you really want to know? And if you really want to know, can you help them? And I think we've gotten to the habit where asking these questions that people really don't care about. They want to know how you're doing as long as it's good and they ain't got to do nothing for you. Yeah. Like,
I'm well. I'm well. All is well. Awesome.
It is so crazy. Like that's the disconnect.
Okay, so if somebody said, you know what, everything is not going well, then what? And I think people feel that level of pressure to say it's going well even when it's not. I want y'all to know, if I ask you how you're doing, I really do mean it. So I know I don't like to have conversations, but it's the social worker in me that is just like, how are you doing? And if they say, things are not going well, okay, well, dang, well, what's happening? Because I do recognize that sometimes people need conversation, and if I can help, I want to help.
Mm-hmm.
But if you just out here to shoot the shit, I'm just not.
I think the reason why you don't want, no, you're not shooting the shit if you're talking something real. Shooting the shit is small talk.
Yeah, but I feel like in most cases, people just want to do small talk with me. Like they're not trying to have
you make them feel like that's what they're going to get.
Hey, this 7th exchange is better be good. No, but but if somebody was like, Nick, it's not going well. Like that's when my brain switches off from, Kanika serving, and it starts to be like serving someone else. So then I'll be like, oh, okay, well, what's going on? Well, how is that? And trying to help find and trying to figure out, am I supposed to be listening or am I supposed to be solution focused right now? So I am able to come outside of myself and serving myself and recognize that part.
But that's a particular type of pressure that brings you out. It's not because you want to do it.
No, I never want anyone to pass by me and leave their presence with me and feel bad. If there's something that I can do, I immediately stop being selfish.
Totally agree. But I'm telling you that everybody that you have small talk with could use your help. You choose to dictate how the conversation goes, because they can tell an unwarm conversation. Like,
look,
okay. That's cutting the conversation. Come on. Hey, it was so good. Yes. Well, next time.
No, because the first question is, how are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Now, so that's my first exchange. Now, when you come back with number 2,
I'm good, girl. How are you doing?
All right. I'm like, I'm doing well. And then I know the conversation can stop in 3 more exchanges. But if you say something is wrong, then I feel you would see it on my face like, oh, okay, so what's happening?
So what if I go like, you say, hey, how you doing? I'm like this. I'm good, shoot.
Okay.
I mean, like, so that, right. but that's one of those things. Like, if you like, is that a regular I'm good shoot? Like,
I don't know, but
you don't care enough to find out.
No, I'm not gonna dig and be like, hey, so
that's what I'm saying.
You sure that you're okay?
No, it was like, what kind of good is that?
I do know some people that when I talk to them, like if everything's good, they say it's good, but if it's not, they'll be like, Nick, it's not good.
You know those people. I'm talking about the people you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't care enough.
I mean, knowing it, and I don't think people just be running around and be like, it doesn't sound like you're okay.
No.
If I don't know you, how am I supposed to know that's the fake? I'm doing all right.
That's not what I'm saying. Come on. I'm just saying that you would prefer not to go down that route, although you're capable of possibly helping them.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. I never want someone to go through the world like sad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been depressed before. I've suffered from situational depression a number of times. And thank God that my best friend, from middle school, she's always been a baby counselor. And she can read me. And she's like, something's just not right. Even when I say, Farrell, I'm doing all right. Like, she can tell, and just being able to speak and get things off my chest, it really helps me. So I understand what she does for me, I want to do for other people, because I understand how she makes me feel. And so when someone is bothered, I genuinely, I really come out. I'm very selfish with my time and my space because it's good for my mental health. But I genuinely never want anyone to leave an interaction with me and struggle with something if they could have just said something, and then I'd be like, well, what about this, or what about this, or help them with next steps of, well, who could you talk to, or maybe talking to me and bumping around some possibilities of what to do. And sometimes people just want to listen. And she said that to me before. She'd be like, okay, am I listening, or are we trying to figure out what we're about to do?
I need to do that too. That's because I often feel like I'm supposed to be helping somebody, and people are like, man, I don't need none of that and I'd be feeling bad too. Mm-hmm. But I'll say this though, there's very few. I think you're like one of the ones that are very few that don't need my advice.
Oh yeah,
you're one of the very few though. Everybody says, oh, that's good. That's why I say sometimes I don't realize what you've taken from me. You're like, you know what, that was a good idea, because you never say anything.
Oh, yeah, I don't.
So,
but I don't necessarily know what I'm collecting or not. I mean, I just get from a conversation what I want and I move on. But yeah, there are a lot of times where I just want somebody to listen. I don't want a solution. Because I'm gonna find it. But and you are only solution focused when you come into conversations.
Well, because I want people to be happy.
Yeah, I got you.
Happier, happiest, more happier. I want people to like appreciate life on a different level. Like I don't, like when people's like, oh my God, I can't wait for this weekend because we're doing this. I be like, I can't wait for this next moment. My wife's next to me.
All right.
No, but I'm saying, like, if you can appreciate moments like that, then so to me, that like now mind you, there was a time where I didn't want to talk to anybody. I did enjoy good conversations, but now it's like I have a different level of freedom where I'm like, I'm happy for a reason. Maybe I can rub off, give some of this energy. So that's just the mindset. And I don't get to talk to people every day, but I do look forward to it. I'm talking about like new people.
Oh, okay.
I remember I told you at one point I wanted to purposefully change somebody's life every day. Just having a conversation, whether it's just making them smile or making them know that they're great, and yeah, so that's where I am. So how are you feeling now?
I'm feeling fine.
You look
genuinely.
Fine. Genuine.
It's silly.
No, but we want to thank everybody for tuning in. This has been another wonderful episode with two people that happen to be married for a long time. We've known each other for 20 years and we are still learning each other. And it's been really fun. And I will say, before we go, yesterday in my head, there was a level of pettiness because my wife and I weren't talking like what we used to. And I was just like, I'm just going to do everything she wants me to do. And if I did everything she wanted me to do, to me, that's called being petty, because I'm going to do more than she wants me to do.
Continue I want you to be petty then, friend.
And I can't do that to my wife. I gotta elevate my wife, and she don't be having time for that.
Hey, if that's your petty, continue, sir.
Look, but I want to thank y'all again. It's been wonderful. This is wrapping up actually our 22nd episode. And it's been fun. And thank you again for supporting the Lewis Squad, doing too much. Attack the day with relentless tenacity, being all opportunities to your will. GATA. Get after that action, or that action will get after you.
Tupac.
Boom.